da OK Student Brasil. Olá a todos, sejam bem-vindos. Estamos começando mais uma live da OK Student Brasil e hoje temos uma convidada muito especial, que é da Universidade of Law de Londres, e ela vai contar para a gente de cursos de graduação e pós-graduação. E ao final da apresentação dela, eu vou contar como funciona a nossa consultoria, assessoria e gerenciamento de candidaturas da OK Student Brasil. Welcome, Maria. You can present yourself, please.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Mariana, for this introduction. So, hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. As Mariana said, my name is Maria, and I do work as Business Development Manager at GAS for the University of Law. And I'm really, really pleased to be here today with you and to talk to all of you beautiful students from Brazil about the courses that the University of Law does offer. So, Barbara, if we can start with the presentation. Okay, so first of all, I'd like to tell you a little bit more about ourselves. So the University of Law is one of the longest legal education provider in the UK, and it's actually the one which has trained more practicing lawyers than any other institution in England and Wales. But why would a student decide to go for the University of Law if they, choose a course that we do offer? So if we can move to the next slide, please. So in these slides, you can see some of our main points. So the first thing, which I always love flagging to all my students, is that we do have 14 campuses all over the UK. And also we have an international one based in Hong Kong. As I said before, we are one of the longest established educational provider when it comes to legal subjects in the country. So our regions go back to 1876, and we are the ones which have trained more practicing lawyers in the UK than anybody else. Also, our approach is very practical. So particularly for those students interested in studying law, for instance, they will be given the opportunity to work on pro bono cases. We have a dedicated team for that, which means while studying, they will also get the chance to get hands-on experience and apply what they are studying on real cases. We have one of the largest expert legal careers and also employability services in the UK. And I will talk you more about this in one of my following slides, as well as a really, really strong and big alumni network, about which I will tell you more shortly. So let's start, next slide, please. Let's start by looking at this map and all the campuses where you might be able to decide to study in case you choose the University of Law. So as you can see from these slides, we have several campuses along the country. So we have two in London, one in Bloomsbury, very close to the British Museum, and one in Moorgate, right in the heart of the city. Then we have a campus in Guildford, as well as Bristol, Nottingham, Birmingham, Leeds, Manchester, Chester, as well as an international campus in Hong Kong. And then we have a strong network of partnerships with some of even Russell Group universities, where we do deliver particularly our programs aimed to train people to become lawyers in the UK. And we will talk about it later on today. Some achievement, next slides, please. Some achievement we are incredibly proud of is that in 2019, since then, we've been ranked first by UCAS when it comes to law acceptances. What does this mean? This means that the majority of the students at an undergraduate level who decided to study law in this country, they have chosen the University of Law as their first university, as their first choice. Next slide, please. As well as most recently, the University of Law has been awarded 5-star institution status by the QS stars. So this is an achievement we are incredibly proud of, because literally you cannot get any better. And also because we have been voted world-class in a broad range of areas, such as excellent reputation, cutting-edge facilities, and also internationally research and teaching faculty. Some of the reason why many students decide to study law with us is because our strong network. So if we can move to the next slide, please. So the University of Law does work in partnership with 90 out of the top 100 legal firms in England and Wales. Those firms might have offices, of course, in this country, in the UK, as well as international offices in other regions of the world. So our network is very strong, obviously. And just to give an example, every year in the country, there is a fair which does take place, which is called Law Fair. And this fair, where all the most important legal firms, as well as law students from any university really would take part, this fair is hosted by the University of Law. So it does take place into our Moorgate campus. And again, this does give you a clear idea of how our role is central when it comes to build a bridge between the theoretical side of the legal world and the practical side of the legal world as well. So if we can move to the next slide, please. I briefly mentioned our employability service. So what's the employability service? Something which is absolutely crucial for us. On top of the theory, which is, of course, essential. We are a university, so, of course, you need to expect theory. But something which is absolutely crucial and important for us is to make sure that our students have the right skills to become employable once they graduate. So to find a job in the easiest and quickest way possible. How do we do this? Well, we do this in so many different ways. On this note, we have another guest today, Fabio Camillo, who's from Brazil as well, and who has studied at the University of Law. So Fabio will tell you more later on this note, on the practical approach of the teaching of the university. But on top of that, we also have a team of career advisors which do offer support and consultations to our students on a regular basis. And they do this via one-to-one appointments, for instance. So all our students can book in individual consultation with a career advisor, and they can use these consultations to get advice in terms of, I don't know, how to write the best CV, how to prepare for a proper interview. So they do organize a lot of mock interviews, for instance, as well as how to submit the best application, how to write the best cover letter. They do also organize a lot of employer talks, as well as network events. Also, as I mentioned before, we have a pro bono scheme in place for which our students can apply for a pro bono opportunity and get the chance, therefore, to get also practical experience while they study. And also, we have a very interesting portal called Employability Portal, where students can basically log in. They can use this portal to book appointments with our career advisors, but also on this portal, there is a very big database of job offers within our industry. So obviously, as you can imagine, this is a really good chance to for our students to, find the right opportunity within the industry via the support of the university and our employability team. Next slide, please. It's really important to say that this kind of support doesn't finish once you graduate, but it will carry on. And again, perhaps Fabio can mention something on this note. So after you graduate with us, you will be able to join the so-called Alumni Network. At the moment, we have more than 71,000 members in this network. People who are working with over 11,800 business and organizations spread across 103 countries in the world. So it's also some kind of very international network. And as you can see from these slides, we are extremely proud of saying that the current Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, the gentleman that you can see in the slides on the bottom right, is one of our alumni. So he did graduate with us, as well as many other notable alumni just to mention a few, Stephanie Boyce, who is the current president of the Law Society of England and Wales, as well as Cherry Blair, the wife of the ex-Prime Minister Tony Blair, who's also studied with us, as well as half of the members of the current British Parliament, because they all have some kind of legal background. All of them have studied and graduated at the University of Law. So also some kind of really, really strong network of notable alumni. And this network is very interesting because obviously you can get the chance via this network to reach out students from your same background who perhaps now are working for a certain firm you are particularly interested in. So you can use this network to, get advice, support, be introduced to other companies and firms, as well as participate to closed-door events. So again, all the approach is very much practical, and all the approach is very much about making sure, once again, our students have the right tools to be employable. So not just about the course and studying itself. So if we can move to the next slide, please. So in these slides, I summarized the offer of our undergraduate programs, the Bachelor of Laws, which are called LLBs in the UK. So when you see LLBs, we are talking about Bachelor of Law. That's the acronym for Bachelor of Law in this country. So we have the standard LLB law, but also we do have LLB law combined with other subjects, such as business, international business, criminology, criminal justice, government and politics, civil and English law, and so on. Now, something very important to say is that all of them are, of course, a degree in law. So you will notice that the first year is basically identical for all of them. And then from the second year, you will have some modules which are the same for all LLBs, the mandatory ones. But then depending on the subject that you choose, you will need to pick 3 electives related to that area, which can be business, which can be criminology, international business, and so on. All these courses are available both in our 3-year version or also foundation year, which means the course will last 4 years rather than 3. And generally, we recommend foundation for those students who perhaps have some kind of lower entry requirements, or perhaps do not feel so strong in terms of their English just yet. So they would like to have this kind of transition year just to get used to the way the university and the British system works, and then start and kick off with year 1 after that. All these courses are available in the campuses that I mentioned earlier, as well as online. So if you want to study online, you can do that. You don't need to come to the UK. You can do it from Brazil. The advantage of studying online is that our online courses, they do not have a preset timetable. So all the lectures and workshops will be recorded, uploaded onto the portal, and then you can just, log in at any time because they will be available 24/7, and obviously join them. You will still have deadlines for the assignments and the assessments. The way you complete the units is totally up to you. It's also important to say that as an online student, you have the same benefits as our in-campus students. So you will therefore be assigned a personal tutor who's going to be the main point of contact for you for the whole duration of the course, as well as you will have access to the Employability Service. You will be able to join the Alumni Network. So literally, you are 100% student as our in-campus students. There is no difference. And also the final award doesn't say if you did study in campus or online. So it can be actually a good option for you if you might be open to go for it. Now, if we can move to the next slide, please. So a degree in law can obviously open you a lot of doors because it's a degree very well regarded in any field, really, and it will give you the possibility to develop a lot of transferable skills, which you will be able to use in all the different industries, not just the legal one. However, if you have quite clear in your mind that you want to become a lawyer, then of course the best way to start is via an LLB. At this point, I just would like to spend a couple of words about something which I think you might need to know, because it might work in a different way in Brazil. So in England and Wales, there is a difference between the solicitors and the barristers. They are both lawyers, but each of them has different areas in which they can operate. So depending on which kind of path you would like to choose, you need to take some kind of different courses accordingly. But first of all, let's try to understand what's the difference between a barrister and a solicitor. I will try to keep it simple so you can get a better idea. Then there is so much to say, and I would recommend you to reach out, okay, Estudiante Brazil, if you want to get more knowledge on this note. But the main point is for you to note that generally the barrister is the lawyer who does represent the clients in court in front of a judge, as opposed to the solicitor is the lawyer who does represent the clients in all other situations which do not necessarily involve a court and dealing with a judge. Yeah. So depending if you want to become a barrister or a solicitor, the paths are different. So for both of them, you must hold a degree. Obviously, if you hold a degree in law and LLB, and you would like to become a barrister, you can go straight with the bar practice course, which will be followed by 1 year of pupillage, and then you will be called as barrister. If you want to become a solicitor, then you will still need to complete an LLB. After the LLB, right now, there are 2 exams that you need to sit, which are called SQE1 and SQE2. And you must complete 2 years of qualifying work experience, and then you will be able to become a solicitor. And the University of Law does offer a wide range of programs which can basically train you in order to be able to sit this exam and increase your chances to pass it successful. Now, let's imagine, however, that you already hold a degree from Brazil and you still would like to become a lawyer in the UK, so either a solicitor or a barrister. What can you do at this point? Do you need to start from scratch? Not at all, because we do offer some kind of courses, which we call conversion courses. They tend to last 1 year, and what they do, they basically convert your degree from Brazil in law or in any other subject into a degree or a diploma, which will make you eligible both for the bar practice course and for the courses which will prepare you to sit the SQE exams in case you want to become a solicitor. These courses are the MLO and the PGDL, and as I said, we call them conversion courses. Next slide, please. So in these slides, you can see the current conversion courses that we do offer, the PGDL, the MLO conversion, the MLO with the SQE1 exam prep courses included, if you want to become a solicitor, and also courses to get prep for the SQE exams themselves. If we can move to the next slide, please. In terms of actual courses which would prepare students to sit the SQE exams, then we have the LLM legal practice with the SQE1 and the SQE2 included. And then we also have some kind of short courses aimed to prepare for a certain exam, which are the SQE1 prep course, the SQE2 prep course, and then the SQE1 and 2 exam prep course, more like focus on the actual exam itself. So all these courses, if you would like to become a solicitor. However, there are many students who are very much interested into the legal world and would like to understand better about the legal industry, because they are very fascinated and perhaps would like to work as paralegal and not to be actual lawyers. So which would be the best course for students who are not interested to be lawyers but still would like to pursue a career into the legal field? So if we can move to the next slide, please. So these courses are called LLMs. The LLMs are Masters of Law. So as we said earlier, that for LLB would stand for Bachelor of Law. The Master of Laws in this country are called LLMs. So they are masters, 100%. And the really good point about these masters is that despite not training you to become a lawyer, because for that there are the courses that I just briefly mentioned, they will basically give you the expertise and the knowledge in a certain area of law, so you can become an expert in that area, and then you can perhaps work as a paralegal or consultant, or even being employed by a company who's looking for a person with the expertise in a certain area of the legal field. And in this slide, you can see some of the LLMs that we do offer at the University of Law, such as company law, corporate governance grade C, international arbitration, international business law, international corporate governance, international human rights, international law, mediation and alternative dispute resolution, medical law and ethics, mental health, Master of Law General. If we can move to the next slide. Compliance and regulation, environmental law, financial law, data protection and intellectual property, insurance law, international energy law. Now, for those students who have perhaps studied law already in Brazil, and they would like to give some kind of international, let's say, twist to their CV, definitely the LLM can be a fantastic course for them to go, because generally the international legal firms are very, very much into students who do hold an LLM, particularly from an institution which does operate under the common law, such as the UK. So I've been receiving a lot of queries about LLMs from international students. However, we need to keep in our minds that it's a master. So in order to go for this course, you must already hold a bachelor, which can be also a bachelor from Brazil. The very interesting thing as well is that your bachelor doesn't need to be in law, but ideally you can hold a bachelor in any subject really, and you can still be eligible for an LLM. For instance, I've seen plenty of students who did study, business as a bachelor, and then they decided to carry on with us with an LLM in international business law, because in this way they could get even a better knowledge of the subject they already studied, but also from a legal perspective. Or students who did study finance as bachelor have decided to carry on with an LLM in financial law. Students who have studied, medicine, they have decided to carry on with an LLM in medical law. Students who have studied IT have decided to carry on with an LLM in legal tech, and so on. So plenty of opportunities, as I said, and kind of qualification which is nowadays is getting more and more popular in the world, and therefore more and more requested by international students, as well as international legal firms. Now, this is in terms of law courses. At the University of Law, we do also offer courses in business, criminology, and professional policing. And I will tell you more shortly, but before moving to that, I really would like to introduce you to Fabio Camillo, who's one of our alumni. So Fabio did study with us. And Fabio is from Brazil, as you. So please feel free to ask questions in Portuguese. If you can feel more confident with that, you can type them in the chat box. And Fabio will talk about his experience as Brazilian student at the University of Law. So I will let you take over, Fabio. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you very much, Maria. Thank you for this opportunity to speak to my fellow countrymen and to talk about the University of Law. So just to give a little background of myself, born and raised in Salvador, Bahia, moved to the Netherlands with my parents, and then I studied law in the UK. And thereafter, I studied law in the UK just because of what Maria said. It's a great degree to have. And my main goal for studying law was to work in international organizations. And after concluding my law degree, I actually did that. I interned for the International Criminal Court, which is located here in the Netherlands. And then I studied a master's at the University of Amsterdam. And then again, I worked at the International Criminal Court because that was my goal. I worked under the Judge Sylvia Steiner, who was the first Brazilian judge of the International Criminal Court. So just to tell you a little bit, that law degree is amazing, and it gives you the tools for you to succeed in life and for you to carry out in almost any job. And then during my career, I worked for Petrobras here in the Netherlands. And at the moment, I work for another oil and gas company here in the Netherlands. Whilst I was working for Petrobras, I started looking for an LLM. And then I came across the LLM offered by the University of Law, which in commercial law and business law. And the advantage of I searched through a number of institutions, and what brought my attention to the University of Law was the fact that it's an online course. They are very pragmatic in the way that they teach their courses. They're taught by lawyers from top law firms and also from academics, of course. Mostly are lawyers who practiced and they've decided to become teachers, or they combine teaching and working. And the approach is basically is a case-based learning, where you learn the theory and you apply that theory to cases. And what I enjoyed most about studying with the University of Law was the fact that I was assigned a tutor for each subject, and each tutor was brilliant because they followed up on my progress. If I was struggling with working and studying at the same time, because I was working and studying at the same time. So they were very open to answering questions from me, which was very interesting to exchange information and exchanging understanding. And the University of Law, after concluding my studies, I did consult with the employability program to improve my CV, which was a great tool to have as far as employability is concerned. And so this was my experience with the University of Law. It's a very known institution in the legal world. Many law firms, whether they be international or British, they look for students from the University of Law because of the name of the University of Law. And now I would like to just touch upon just one thing briefly, that in Brazil, as it's known, students study and work at the same time. They do internships, and I think that the University of Law allows students to do that in a practical way by learning, where they get the theory and the practice at the same time, and they apply that. So this is my experience with the University of Law. I do recommend, and I have recommended that to colleagues from Petrobras, and they have studied at the University of Law as well. They've done the LLM, Brazilian qualified lawyers who have taken the LLM based on my experience. So I do recommend it, and I think it's a great institution for LOB, for people who are wanting to study overseas, who wants to have also an LLM. So it's a great institution. And I had the pleasure of visiting the London campus, and it's a very good campus, and they're very welcoming and open. And you're in the heart of London, and you're gonna love it. Of course, there are other places like Manchester, Birmingham, and other places. So in an event, it's a great place. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you so much, Fabio. That was so enlightening. Sometimes listening to the hands-on experience of, a proper student can definitely be extremely helpful for prospective students. So guys, if you have any questions at all, please use the chat box. And again, as I said, I'm not Brazilian, as you might guess from my accent, but you can type in Portuguese and address them directly to Fabio. So
Thanks so much, Fabio and Maria.
Thank you.
For the presentations. It was very informative, and I know there are a lot of students looking for law at the UK, and they have a lot of doubts about it. So
absolutely.
Maybe I could just wait a little bit.
So yeah, maybe I can carry on with the presentation and talk briefly about business and criminology. And then in the meantime, the students can type questions if they want.
Sure.
Yeah?
That's fine.
Brilliant. So if Barbara can share again the screen, please. Fantastic. Okay, so if we can move to the next slide. Yes. So the following one, please. Okay, so as I said, the University of Law has also a business school, which we call the University of Law Business School. So we offer a wide range of programs in business-related subjects as well, both at an undergraduate and at a postgraduate level. And once again, the approach is very, very much practical. So as per the law courses, our business courses are very, very much focused on making sure the students have the practical skills. And it's not then a coincidence that many of them are accredited by the Chartered Management Institute, which is a very well regarded professional body in the UK. So just to give you an example, generally within business-oriented companies, business-focused companies, when the employer is looking to promote a certain team member, or even if the company advertises a certain job on a kind of more management level, they tend to ask for, on top of degrees, they tend to ask also for diplomas from the CMI. So because some courses, several actually of our courses are accredited by this institution, our students would get automatically on top of their degree also a diploma level 5 or 7, depending if it's UG or PG from the CMI. And just to show you briefly the portfolio, when it comes to undergraduate business courses, we do have standard business management, as well as business management combined with marketing, business management combined with law, digital marketing, international business management, digital business management, accounting and finance. As per the law courses, these ones are available both in the 3-year version as well as 4-year with foundation included. And then, if you already hold a degree and you would like to, get specialized in a certain area of the business world by a master, there you go. This is our portfolio of master's courses. So we do offer an MBA in leadership, as well as a master in corporate financial management, cybersecurity and data governance, global accounting, project management, strategic business management, business intelligence and analytics, digital marketing, digital sales and management, financial compliance and governance, financial risk management, international marketing, leadership and human resource management, corporate financial management. The approach is very much practical, as I said, and once again, very much focused onto the employability side of things. So as per the law courses, you will be able to get access to our employability service, arrange individual consultations with a career advisor, and get the opportunity to be advised and mentored as well while studying with us. We do also offer some courses in criminology and professional policing, particularly on an undergraduate level. So we do not have master for these courses, but just bachelor. So we have the standard criminology, as well as criminology with professional policing, with sociology, and then professional policing. Again, the practical approach, which is a key point for us for all our courses. So just to give you an idea, if you decide to study professional policing with us, because perhaps you are interested into becoming a forensic investigator, in our London campus, we have a flat where we basically reproduce mock crime scenes, and then we take our students there and we ask them to solve the case. So in this way, they can, put into practice in a safe environment what they are studying as theory. And we call this flat Crime Scene Suite. And our students absolutely love it. I also would like to flag that, if you can move to the next slide, please. Sorry, the previous one. Yeah, there you go. I also would like to flag the fact that our environment is very much supportive. So into your fees, you should think that the materials are included. So you don't need to buy any extra material. All the books and the paperwork and the documents that you need are included into the fees. We organize our classes in small group, because we believe very much that it's quite crucial for students to have, you know, and create a strong bond both with other students as well as with their tutors. So there's a kind of family environment in which everybody knows everybody, and students absolutely love that. We have an open door policy for which, as long as the tutor is free at any point, the students can knock on the door and just, you know, get a meeting with them, as well as individual feedback. So obviously, on top of feedbacks from the employability teams, which I just mentioned earlier, before taking the assessments, for instance, there is the week of the mock exams, where we basically prepare our students for the actual exam, and then the tutors would give them feedbacks and basically explain them if there are some areas in which they should improve, you know, and get better. They would flag them to them, and they would support them to improve in those certain areas. So yeah, the environment in general is very, very much supportive, as also Fabio has previously mentioned. Now, that's all from me. So if we can move to the next slide, please. That's all from me, and I hope that this has given you a big picture of the University of Law. Obviously, there is so much to say, and we will be more than happy to follow up. If you guys should be interested in any of our courses or into applying with us, I would strongly advise you to reach out to the team OK Estudiante Brazil, because they are official representatives of the University of Law, and they do know our institution very well. So they can help you throughout the process, give you advice, support, help you with the paperwork. And then, of course, if you would like an individual consultation with me, because perhaps you want to have some kind of more, I don't know, in-depth understanding of something, again, please speak to OK Estudiante Brazil, and I will be happy to arrange that for you with your education consultant. Thank you.
Sure, thank you, Maria. I'm going to share my screen now so I can, I'm going to speak in Portuguese so they can understand everything. OK Student, como vocês viram, tem bilhões de opções de cursos, né? E cada pessoa tem um interesse de carreira, tem aí suas preferências, o seu currículo, a sua experiência acadêmica e as suas preferências. Então, a consultoria ela é muito importante justamente por isso, para te ajudar a decidir entre tantas opções, né? Tem international, tem commercial, tem o Criminology, tem diversas opções e cada um tem um perfil. É muito difícil, muitas vezes, escolher o curso ideal sozinho, né? E, inclusive, quem quer se formar em Direito também, para entender se quer ser um Solicitor ou um Barrister, é muito importante entender qual é o tipo do exame que tem que fazer, a data de envio dos documentos. Então, a consultoria ajuda aí, desde o comecinho da escolha, né, na assessoria do preparo da documentação até o envio das candidaturas. E é claro que nós mantemos contato aí com a Maria e o Fábio, para alguma dúvida possível que os estudantes possam vir a ter, e agradeço muito, porque com certeza contemplou aí muitas das dúvidas que os estudantes vêm procurar com a OK Student, venho perguntar para o OK Student. Fábio, você gostaria de falar um pouquinho? Acho que Fábio não está mais. Yes. Yes,
desculpa. Eu estou. Posso falar assim? Você gostaria que tem alguma pergunta, assim, alguma coisa que eu poderia esclarecer? Ou você quer que eu fale mais genericamente?
Não, sim, tem uma pergunta, eu acho que talvez só se você pudesse contar, assim, bem rapidamente como é que foi a tua experiência na mudança de cultura, né, de país, que é algo que perguntam bastante também, tem muita gente que fica insegura com relação a isso, e a metodologia de ensino, se foi muito diferente do Brasil para o Reino Unido.
Então, em relação à cultura, houve uma diferença, sim, especialmente pelo fato de estar em uma cultura que é um pouco mais individualista, e no sentido de estudo, a cultura inglesa segue da seguinte forma, pelo menos esse foi o meu entendimento, que eles dão o material para que você estude, certo? E cabe ao aluno estudar. É lógico que eles têm o conceito de tutores e de supervisores, mas você aprende, a sala de aula é um mero guia para o que você deve aprender, sendo que todo o trabalho tem que ser feito por você. Então, esse foi um choque, porque no Brasil é diferente esse sistema, e então isso para mim foi um choque no começo, mas depois eu consegui me adaptar relativamente rápido. E em relação a sua outra pergunta, eu diria que foi muito válido a experiência de você poder estudar fora, de você poder estar em uma cultura diferente, e de ter um bom diploma, por assim dizer. Porque o diploma lá no Reino Unido é um diploma bem conceituado, é um diploma bem visto pelas grandes empresas. Então, assim, eu encorajo as pessoas que tiverem a oportunidade de estudar fora, quer seja para fazer um curso de graduação ou um curso de mestrado, a fazerem, porque acho que a experiência de estudar fora é única, e outra experiência de você estar em uma cultura diferente, com pessoas de outros países, realmente é incrível. Isso ajuda bastante.
Muito obrigada, Fábio.
I can see there's a question for Bobby about studying professional policing. I think I understood what's the question. So I think Bobby's asking is, in order to take the course in policing, she must have studied law, either in Brazil or the UK. No, that's a different course, Bobby. So, and in order to get access to professional policing course, it's an undergraduate course, so it's a bachelor, which means you don't need any degree. So as long as you have your high school diploma, and that meets our entry criteria, you can start with a course in professional policing. So no, you don't need any background in law, neither from Brazil nor from the UK. That's fine, my pleasure. Any other questions, guys? Either in Portuguese or I don't speak Portuguese, but I can understand. So or maybe Mariana, if sometimes students are a bit shy, if you have any other questions yourself, which students tend to ask.
I think
me or Fabio, even in Portuguese.
Yes. Bom, uma pergunta que fazem muito, na verdade, é a diferença do Solicitor e Barrister, né? Difference. Mas, na verdade, eu acho que deu para entender muito bem aqui, né? No curso que você tem que fazer, quais são os exames, e, na verdade, eu acredito que tenha que se fazer uma análise do perfil de cada um, do GPA, do inglês, né? Tem toda essa questão dos requerimentos de entrada.
Fabio, would you like to reply to that maybe in Portuguese? I covered briefly my presentation in English, so yeah.
Sim, então, of course, but you explained it very well, and but I'll just sum up in a few sentences. A diferença, basicamente, de você ser um solicitor e ser um barrister é que o solicitor, ele é advogado de um escritório, certo? E ele vai atuar, certo, para os seus clientes. E o barrister, ele seria, na verdade, o advogado forense. Ele é o que atua aí nos tribunais. E o que acontece é que o solicitor, ele acaba instruindo o barrister em litígios e em disputas. Então, há uma conversa entre um e outro. Então, o que acontece é que um vai para a parte do contencioso, certo? E outro vai para a parte mais corporativa, ou o que eu chamo de não contencioso. Então, o solicitor é o não contencioso, por assim dizer, e o barrister seria o contencioso. Essa é a diferença.
Sim, sim, obrigada. Uma outra pergunta que costumam fazer bastante é se a pessoa terminou a graduação aqui, se ela consegue entrar em qualquer tipo desses mestrados e ainda voltar para o Brasil e continuar sendo advogado.
So maybe Fabio, if you can translate that for me, I think I understood a bit, but not everything.
Sure. The question is that if you do one of these courses, an LLB on an LLM, and then you come back to Brazil, right? And then you can still become a lawyer in Brazil.
That's a very interesting question. Now, the thing is that Brazil does operate under civil law, as opposed to the UK does operate under common law. So, to answer your question, I think if a student is interested in working within international legal firms who perhaps are specifically looking for people who can practice under the English and Welsh jurisdiction, then yes, of course they can. So they can work in Brazil with an international legal firm because they are, qualified solicitor in England and Wales, so they can do represent that jurisdiction there. However, if they want to practice as lawyers recognized by the Brazilian system, they must inquire with Brazil, with the Brazil Bar Association, if there is some kind of way of, I don't know, perhaps converting the title or any sort of things. I'm not entirely sure, I have to be honest. So I would double check with the Brazilian Bar Association just to be sure. But it's based on my experience, because obviously we do deal with a lot of other jurisdictions which do operate under civil law. It's difficult. So I think the best option for those students is either to work for international legal firms who are looking for people qualified in England and Wales, and there are a lot, literally. There are not only in Brazil, but all over the world. And we have plenty of international students who qualify here, and then they get back to their own countries, and they do work for international legal firms as qualified solicitors in England and Wales. So of course you can. But if you want to be a Brazilian lawyer recognized by the Brazilian Bar Association, then I would recommend you to make a query with them and see if there is any way of, transfer your title or convert your title or any sort of things. But there is still plenty of option if you want to work for an international legal firm. Also, there are plenty of students who are not interested into practicing, but are interested into getting some kind of international qualification and expertise in a certain area. So if you are already studying law in Brazil, I am 100% sure you must be familiar with the LLMs, because this qualification is getting more and more popular nowadays. So definitely an LLM can be a really, really good choice for you, because any firm, international and not in Brazil, if they see that you also studied an LLM with a UK institution, which does operate under common law, this will definitely give you extra points compared to another candidate which doesn't hold the title, but just a law degree from Brazil. And that's a fact. And that's the feedback that I get every single day from all my LLM students all over Europe and South America.
Right.
I hope this answered your question, Mariana.
Yes, you did.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
Maybe I think that's it. Right, I'm gonna just show our contacts. So if someone wants to contact us, and se alguém quiser também entender um pouco mais dessas diferenças, pode entrar em contato comigo diretamente, né? Se quiser também participar de uma consultoria para entender qual que é o curso ideal para o seu perfil e para as suas projeções de carreira, estaremos abertos aqui a atendê-los. Muito obrigada. I think, Maria, thank you so much. We're going to finish here. And
thank you so much, Mariana, for inviting me. It's been a great pleasure. And again, for all the students who are listening to us, if you are interested in finding out more, guys, please reach out to Mariana and her team, because they do work with us. They know our institution very well, so they will be able to help you with the whole process. And if you want to organize consultation, even with me, please, again, speak to Mariana, and we can organize a consultation together, 3 of us. I also would like to thank Fabio for joining us and sharing his experience, because that's been absolutely great and really enlightening. So thank you so much, Fabio. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.